All right, welcome to today's explainer. We're diving into something that is quite literally transforming how we buy, sell, and physically move goods around the world. We're going to unpack how retail AI is rapidly stepping out of your computer screen and directly onto the physical warehouse floor. It's this wild journey from digital pixels to physical robotics, and we've got some incredible data to cover today. So let's just get right into it. To really grasp why this massive technological shift is happening in the first place, we've got to start with this striking statistic from McKinsey: 76%. That is the percentage of consumers who actively grow frustrated when digital experiences fail to adapt to their specific needs. You know, people just don't want a generic one-size-fits-all storefront anymore. They expect a highly personalized experience, and honestly, when they don't get it, they just leave. Okay, Section 1. The end of static interfaces. Let's look at how we're shifting toward dynamic AI environments to solve that exact consumer frustration. So to combat that 76% frustration rate, enterprise retailers are deploying generative user interfaces. Instead of every single person seeing the exact same cookie-cutter homepage, these UIs analyze live click streams, historical purchase records, and hidden intent parameters to instantly construct a totally unique visual environment for each individual session. The layout, the need of copy, the interactive components, they are all built in real time, right at the literal moment of page execution. It's like a custom store being built just for you in milliseconds. And the financial impact of ditching those static interfaces, it's absolutely undeniable. Companies deploying these tailored generative layouts are seeing a 35% lift in purchase frequency and a 21% jump in average order values. By simply giving the consumer a digital environment that instantly adapts to them, conversion targets just completely skyrocket. Moving right along to Section 2, mining multimodal video data. Because, as you might guess, those dynamic interfaces need really deep insights to know what to actually generate. There's a new reality on the internet, and it is highly visual. Video content now represents a staggering 82% of all internet traffic. For years, marketing teams relied heavily on keyword monitoring and text databases to figure out what customers wanted. But with 82% of the web now running on video and streaming formats, relying on text alone, that creates a massive, glaring blind spot for understanding consumer sentiment. Multimodal social listening platforms are the new solution here. Instead of just scraping for typed keywords, these advanced platforms ingest unstructured live video and audio streams. They use computer vision and natural language processing to spot a corporate logo casually sitting in the background of a video, or to identify product usage patterns and analyze spoken sentiment across completely unlinked networks. They can literally spot visual trends before they ever even peak on standard search engines. It's pretty mind-blowing. The operational edge this provides is exactly where we're looking at a $2.83 billion global market. 76% of media analysts report verifiable ROI using these visual platforms, absolutely crushing the success rates of text-limited operations. But here's why this really matters. Catching an unbranded mention or visual trend early gives supply chain teams a critical head start. If a product suddenly goes viral in a video, the system dynamically adjusts regional inventory to match that sudden spike in demand, way before stock actually runs out. So, how do we test these new insights without waiting weeks? That brings us to Section 3, simulating synthetic consumer personas. Testing a new campaign or a localized pricing structure used to mean running these really expensive, slow, weeks-long human focus groups. Well, now companies are deploying synthetic cohorts, these instantaneous virtual personas built entirely on AI. What's totally fascinating is that frameworks like Anthropic's Claude Sonnet 5, especially when paired with storytelling elements like Fable and Mythos, are generating highly nuanced psychometric models. These tools simulate realistic group decision-making almost instantly, dynamically mirroring target consumer behavior without the typical agonizing wait times. Tech teams take these advanced synthetic personas and deploy them directly into virtual sandboxes. So instead of a dozen people sitting around in a conference room eating stale donuts, you have thousands of automated interviews, content stress tests, and user experience reviews happening simultaneously. It's essentially spinning up a digital twin of your exact consumer base so you can test drive your application's design at hyperspeed. Of course, AI can hallucinate or drift over time, right? We know that. So to keep everything accurate, developers continuously inject fresh interview data from real human control groups back into the models. By constantly benchmarking those synthetic cohorts against active market realities, product managers can safely isolate any workflow friction and fix design issues long before they ever deploy code to live servers. It's basically risk-free, instantaneous optimization. Now let's take these simulation concepts and apply them to heavy machinery. Section 4, Virtual Sandboxes and Robotic Arms. We're talking about an absolutely massive market for physical automation platforms, projected by McKinsey to exceed $370 billion by the year 2040. The logistical returns and labor optimizations are just immense. But, you can't just plug an AI into a massive industrial robot, flip a switch, and hope for the best. Before a warehouse robotic arm ever touches a real physical cardboard box, it goes through this very strict four-step pipeline. The real heavy lifting happens in steps 1 and 2, running millions of trial runs in a virtual software sandbox. The robot literally learns to handle oddly shaped items, understand spatial geometry, and navigate physical interactions entirely in a digital simulation. And the infrastructural leaps making this possible are wild. NVIDIA's BioNeMo is accelerating complex physical modeling, and Japan is actually pushing to develop a national AI model specifically designed to govern 10 million robots. The scale of this virtual training is completely unprecedented. Once the model is trained, we hit step 3, deployment. To ensure an immediate physical response on a fast-paced factory floor, the intelligence isn't sent to some cloud server hundreds of miles away. It's deployed to local edge computing chips right there on the hardware itself. This slashes processing latency so the robot can react in real time. Plus, crucially, it keeps sensitive, constant raw video feeds off of centralized clouds, which completely eliminates a huge array of data vulnerabilities. To orchestrate this entire massive spectrum, an enterprise needs a universal standard. Section 5, Unifying Operations with MCP. Enter the Model Context Protocol, or MCP for short. Think of it as the ultimate universal translator. MCP establishes an open communication standard that acts as a universal connection layer. It seamlessly links these advanced core AI models with a company's older legacy data tools, like their existing product catalogs or back-end CRM platforms. This totally saves software engineers from the absolute nightmare of having to write custom integration code for every single new tool they want to deploy. The real genius of MCP is in its efficiency. Instead of overwhelming the AI's system by loading every single operational policy at launch, MCP dynamically loads specific modular skills. If the AI needs to check stock levels, it just loads that skill. If it needs to modify a customer's loyalty tier, it loads that skill. It pulls in exactly what the workflow demands, right when it demands it, without flooding the context window with unnecessary data. And the beauty of this protocol is that it isn't trapped in some corporate walled garden. The Linux Foundation governs this entire effort via the Agentic AI Foundation. With major tech providers throwing their weight behind it, standardizing this architecture ensures long-term cross-platform compatibility. It keeps latency super low, it keeps token processing costs contained, and it finally allows true autonomous enterprise operations to scale securely. All right, that brings us to a final thought for today's explainer. We've traced this incredible journey from dynamic pixels built for synthetic personas, all the way to heavy robotic arms trained in virtual sandboxes. As these interconnected AI systems seamlessly translate digital intelligence into rapid physical action, how must our own roles, our own human oversight evolve to match this entirely new, autonomous speed of business? It's a massive shift, and understanding it really is the key to navigating the future of retail. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, and I will catch you in the next explainer.